Hello, good morning, students. Welcome in today's class through online teaching. In today's class, we are going to study a new poem, and its title is On the Receipt of My Mother's Picture. This poem has been included in BA Part 2nd syllabus, Paper 1st, Poetry and Drama. And this poem was written by William Cowper, who born in 1731. William Cowper occupies place in English poetry. He is the best representative of the transition from Augustan values to Romanticism. He belongs to the group of transitional poets like Thomson, William Blake, Thomas Gray, and William Collins, whose periods falls between the age of Alexander Pope and the age of William Wordsworth. These poets are called transitional poets because they carry with them the virtues of the 18th century poetry: want of emotion and stress on reason, nature of man, town poetry, devotion to form, and medium of heroic couplet. And also they show the quality of romantic revival of the 19th century. William Cowper, in this respect, holds a unique place, with the occasional return to the poetic diction on the classical school. He comes nearest to William Wordsworth in respect of treatment of nature and landscapes and directness of language. William Cowper lost his mother when he was only 6 years old, and William Cowper was died in 1800. The poem On the Receipt of My Mother's Picture, also known as On the Receipt of My Mother's Picture, out of Norfolk. It is a poem by William Cowper which he wrote because of a love for his mother. Cowper's mother died when he was only 6 years old. Later, at the age of 58, he received a picture of his mother from his cousin, which inspired him to write this elegy lamenting the loss of his mother. William Cowper was very popular and affectionate among English poets. He composed the poem in the memory of his mother, who died when he was a small child. The picture came to him unexpectedly. He never hoped that he would get the picture after the expiry of such a long period of about half century. So he was highly pleased and received it like an honored guest. The picture revives the memory of his mother and her love and affection for the poet. He remembers his childhood. He sees the picture and looks at her smiling face. He looks at her mother's smiling face. He feels that the smiling lips of his mother are consoling him. They tell him not to weep or not to fear. The poet is lost in imagination and sees the real figure of his mother through the picture. He feels that his mother wants him to compose a poem to celebrate the memory of his long lost mother. So the poet decided to weave a charming song in her honor. The poet asks his mother if she knew how deeply he was grieved when she died. He also wants to know the reaction of his mother when he wept for her. The poet looks at the smiling lips of his mother and fancies that she must have given her kisses and shed tears whenever she saw, and she shed tears whenever she saw him sad and unhappy condition. The poet hopes to see her in heaven. If he is fortunate to meet him, his mother in heaven, he will never utter the word farewell to her. In his deep sorrow, all her maid servants assured him that his mother would come again. Thus he was deluded by the false hope of her return and became the victim of tomorrow. He became dependent of tomorrow from his very childhood. The poet remarks that a young man generally lives in imagination and dreams. He thinks that dreams of youth will be realized with growing age and the wants of today will be fulfilled tomorrow. The mother of the poet was so kind and affectionate to him that she always went to his bedroom to see whether he was sleeping properly or not. She gave him biscuits and sugar plum in the morning when he went to school. She washed his face with scented water. All such acts of kindness are still fresh in the memory of the poet. Her love for him was constant. It was even not affected by her moods. Therefore, the poet will get great pleasure in composing a song in the praise of such a kind and affectionate mother. The poet feels that his song he has written in her memory is not very impressive, but it is the expression of true and sincere feelings. God will not despise this song, though human beings may not appreciate it. The poet fancies that time should reverse his journey and bring back the days of his childhood. If it become possible, he will play with the embroidered flowers of her dress. He used to copy the violet and pink jasmines of his mother's dress on paper. His mother was pleased to see his actions. The poet contemplates over his thoughts and comes to the conclusion that this desire is based on mere emotions. It is not proper to call her back. She is free from all earthly bonds. She is untouched by earthly miseries and the evils of the world. His mother has completed her life journey on the earth and she lives in heaven. Her father too has left the world and lives in heaven with her. Though he has not yet attained this bliss, yet he is happy. He is happy to think that at least his parents are enjoying the joys and blessings of heaven. In the end of the poem, the poet says that the time can never retrace its journey, nor can its progress be checked. But the poet's wish is fulfilled. Through his imaginations, he lived over his childhood again and enjoyed the bliss of his mother's love and affection. The poet says that his mother's power to comfort him still remains in picture, though physically she is not with him. This is the central theme of the poem on the receipt of my mother's picture. Now we will explain the poem on receipt of my mother's picture. Oh that look, oh that those lips had language, life has passed. Oh that, oh that it means I wish that. The poet says I wish that. Those lips, those lips it means the poet refers to the lips of his mother in the painting. Had language, it means the lips of his mother in painting could speak. The poet says that The lips of his mother in the painting could speak. Life has passed with me but roughly. With me but roughly. It means after his mother's death, he had lived a very painful and distressful life. After poet's mother's death, he had lived a very painful and distressful life. Since I heard the last. Since I heard the last. I here refer to the poet and the means you. It means since your death. Since the poet's death. Those lips are thine. Those lips are thine. It means those lips painted in the picture are exactly like your real lips. Thy own sweet smiles I see, the same that oft in childhood solaced me. Voice only tells, else how distinct they say. The same, it means the similar smile that oft in childhood solaced me. It means his mother would often console him by smiling to him when he was a child. Voice only fails, else how distinct they say. Voice only fails. It means the only thing that lacks is that the lips are unable to speak here. Else means else, otherwise distinct. Distinct means plainly yet distinctly. Grieve not, my child, chase all thy fears away. Grieve not, it means do not be sad or do not weep. The meek intelligence of those dear eyes, blessed with the art that can immortalize the art that befalls time's tyrannic claim to quench it. Here shines on me still the same. These are the opening lines of the poem On Receipt of My Mother's Picture. In these lines, the poet here reminds the sweet and pleasant memory of his long dead mother and how she behaved and he enjoyed his childhood days in her loving care and guardianship. When given a picture of his dead mother, the poet is overtaken by nostalgia and a sense of personal loss. The poet had lost his mother when he was only 6 years old. His cousin, Mr. Watham, sent him a present of his mother's picture when Cooper was 57. 52 years had passed. The picture was a happy surprise to him. Cooper wrote the poem as an affectionate tribute to his mother. Putting the picture before him, he addresses it and says that since her death, he has had a very painful and wretched life. He looks at the lips in the picture and says that they are painted exactly like what they were in reality. They had the same smile which she had when she was alive on her lips when alive. The poet says that the smile on the lips is exactly like her real smile. It is the very same smile with which she used to console him when he was a child. The only difference is that they cannot speak. Cooper always had a vague fear that he would never have salvation. His mother's smiling lips seemed to him not to weep or fear for that. She told him to dismiss all his fears. He sees a looks of silent sympathy and kindliness which he used to get from his mother when she was alive. The poet thanks the immortalizing art of painting, which can thus defeat the cruel attempt of time to destroy it. He says that the kind look of his mother shined before him in the picture exactly as she did in reality. Faithful remembrance of one so dear, O welcome guest, thou unexpected here. Remembrance, it is referred for poet's mother's picture, one that reminds his childhood. O welcome guest, thou unexpected here, who biddest me honor with an artless song. Biddest me, it means order. Biddest means orders. Artless means simple. Affectionate a mother lost so long. I will obey, not willingly alone, but gladly, as the precept were her own. And while that face renews my filial grief, it means grief for one's parents. Fancy shall be a charm for my relief, shall steep me in Alcian reverie. In these lines, the poet here addresses the picture of his dead mother. It is a perfect representation of his dear mother and says that the picture brings his dead mother very truly before his eyes. He did not expect to receive the picture after so long a period that has passed after his mother's death. The picture is like a welcome guest to him. Cooper is very happy to get the picture. He says that the picture seems to ask him to celebrate the memory of his long lost mother with a song through simple and unskillful expressing his love. The poet says this in all humility. The poem is indeed an artless song with which the poet honors his long dead mother. The poet says that he would do it not only without raising any objection, but with the greatest pleasure to himself, as if the command had come directly from his mother. The poet says that writing a song in memory of his mother will give him a great joy as doing something obeying his mother's command. So writing the poem would be a most pleasant activity for him. The picture reminds the poet his dead mother, and so he is full of grief for his dead mother. However, the poet's imagination with joy, he says that although at the sight of that face of his mother in the picture, his sorrows for his mother is reawakened, yet he would console himself with the magic influence of imagination. He would indulge in the happy dream that the figure in the portrait was actually his mother. The poet implies that he would console his grief for the loss of his mother by fancying that his mother was really present before him in the portrait. The poet means to say that his imagination brings him happiness by bringing back his mother before him as if she were alive and not dead.